welcome to another episode of Invisible Sun with these fine and wonderful, lovely people. We're not muted, are we?
You were for the very first thing that you said. You were for the welcome.
Okay, great. Well, I said hi, everybody, so hello. Um, Before we get into it, as is the sort of way the Invisible Sun is played, there was a significant gap in time between our last session and this session in terms of game time. Our characters have been out and about pursuing their own goals for a month. And so we're just going to go through and quickly ask everybody what their characters have been up to over the past month. So why don't we start with Lucas? What have you been up to over the past month?
Well, most of my dealings have been invested in the less corporeal variety. I have been trying to divine the whereabouts of the deed for the aqueduct by enlisting the assistance of beings from the Pale, as it were. For the most part, they have proven unsuccessful in rendering any real tangible aid, though they seem to have some particular direction that they can point me, which is nice, but I suppose it's time that I figure out a way to rely on my own powers to locate that which I seek. Elsewise, I've been spending my time taking care of the enormous moth at the Benighted Song as per my standard arrangement for work, and frequenting the bookshop, where I might find new texts of interest and occasional brush-ins with Soraya, as well as stopping by my friend Soren's bar for further research and camaraderie, as it were, with libations. And all else, suppose I can't say too much else. Things have been slow. Go figure, ghosts aren't very helpful.
All right, Soren, what have you been up to over the past month?
Yeah, well, we've done a couple of things. I did present my proposal at the Vance, and as part of that, I was able to successfully advance to a second degree, which is a step up in my spellcasting organization. I think of it kind of like a school for wizards, if we were to use such a archaic term for a spellcaster. And then Alana and I went on a little adventure to try and locate what happened to my spellbook in last session, but were unsuccessful in finding anything of significance. And so then we came back, and I wound up creating a new spellbook for myself. Other than that, I have been doing some work on campus, and I have been also working at the bar from time to time.
All right. Let's see. Soraya, what about you?
So, everything just went right out of my head. I've spent most of the time working in Meryl's books. I imagine I've seen a few familiar faces go through every now and again. I've probably made a few trips to the aqueducts, mostly because it's quieter there than it is at my house, because Shay just can't help herself and likes to invite everyone to our home. Generally just keeping an eye on the papers for more stories like the one we found. And probably looking a little bit more into mentors and what that process would look like in terms of getting what I need to acquire. I feel like there's something that I'm missing. Maybe not. that helps a lot. I think that's probably about it. I think
Okay.
mostly avoiding people, as
Honestly, fair.
one does.
Shade, how about you?
I've been working more than normal, asking around, see if anybody knows anything about this mystery murderer, whole head-holing person, whatever you want to call them. Been asking my clients. I got some very strange answers that were probably meant to deter me, but I'm not easily swayed. So when I'm not working, I'm actually, as of recently, been trying to spend more time with my sister, with Lucas, Soren, and Alana, and my mentor, kind of absent time, not really doing anything, just kind of, for example, sitting at the bar and drinking while Soren's working in the back, not bothering him, or sitting with Soraya and Lucas when they're in the bookstore, or Alana, wherever I can find her. The gesture might seem sentimental, but I am firm that it is not, that I'm just bored.
All right. And Alana, what have you been up to?
Well, as always, I have been working at my job at Botanical Spiral, mostly just pruning, taking care of the plants in the nursery. Got a couple new ones recently. Nothing too interesting. I don't want to bore you. I've also been running some errands for Mrs. Nusselt, the wrong cat in charge of the bookstore, the toy store, where my home is kept. So I just run errands, deliveries, picking up groceries for her. Soren already mentioned that I assisted in trying to find his spell book. I know what it's like to lose something really important to you, so I wanted to see if I can help, but unfortunately it didn't really go anywhere. And then all my other free time when I'm not hanging out with anyone else, I decided to do a little bit of research. Since I did kind of get roped into looking into this murderer, I decided to try and gather some newspaper clippings, tabloid articles, just to see if I find any connections between the victims. Unfortunately, there weren't a lot of publications, maybe only 2 or 3, and anything prior to those, I had to go to the cocoon of the Evermoth, where history is written down on the wings of moths. That took a lot of time. Moths are regular sized, and it's hard to keep them still to read their wings. While I was there, I met an angel, actually. It was named the Roiling Watcher, and they were able to give me a little information about some connections between some of the victims. So it's a little concerning, but a couple more clues.
All right. Then I think we will start in Lucas's house in the Aqueduct. So, Lucas, why don't you go ahead and describe your house for us?
Oh, goodness. Well, I don't typically host large amounts of people in my home. It's not particularly suited for large gatherings or creature comforts for people. But yes, the Aqueduct. There's a control room, a central room on the Aqueduct, which spans most of the Mothlight district. The different channels and archways, they converge all in one central area, which you'd think would be a problem, given the fact that aqueducts tend to transfer water, but the most important thing to note about the aqueduct that runs through the Mothlight district is the fact that it no longer functions as a method of carrying liquid. Rather, it seems to be some sort of conduit for spiritual energy, which travels through those dry channels. The home that I live in is that central area where all of these channels converge. It's a simple room, simple shack almost, composed of cobblestone and brick. And it has basic accommodations. There's a table for reading. I have some fine china that is mostly for show. I tend not to eat at home because, what with the open air and lack of secure windows, rats and other things tend to poke around. There's a single bed, mostly for my own rest when I grow weary from communing with the spirits, and it's a little drafty. Yes, there is a telephone, of all things, that sits on the table in the central area. It is more for show than anything else, because, as most Vizsla know, telephones don't really function the way they do in Shadow. In fact, if you're lucky, you might be able to hear someone else's conversation if you listen in on the phone, but you can't guarantee just who would be on the other end when you try and use it. Besides that, there's not too much to talk about. There's ladders that you can climb up to the channels which lead to the central room, but there's no real direct access to the place that I call my home. It's more climb on top and find your way. So, anyone who comes to visit would be able to tell where I stay, because it is the only place that could be considered a shelter along the structure.
All right. Well, this is where we find ourselves at the beginning of this session.
I'm on the bed with the telephone to my ear.
I knew as soon as they said it, that's what you were going to be doing. I'm sitting at the table, rolling my eyes at you while reading.
Shade, you hear garbled conversations in dozens of different languages. Maybe only one or two of them you could actually identify. Generally speaking, there are ghosts in the telephone wires. And so if you just pick up a telephone and listen, that's what you're going to hear. And so you are hearing most likely dead conversations. But there's lots of them going on.
Hear anything good, Shade?
Do I hear anything good, Game Master?
Why don't we draw a Sooth card and see?
Oh, goodness gracious.
All right, so on the Silver Sun, we play the Golden Ship. Magic of the gold is enhanced. Magic of the silver is hindered. Let me quickly pull up. Oh, come on, computer, don't fail me now. Golden Ship. Okay. Value 2, associated with notions, cats, clocks, and wind. So if those are associated with your heart, you have a +1 to all of your ventures until the next card pull. Meanings: wealth, earned, honor, prestige, or respect. There are many ships, but only one golden ship. This legendary vessel supposedly carries only the greatest heroes, the most influential celebrities, the highest nobles, and the most powerful Vizsla to ports of call most people cannot even imagine. Even seeing the ship is a great honor. It represents wealth and prestige. So, I will say that amongst the general chatter of all of these random ghosts and all of these dead conversations, you're able to pick up on one particular conversation that is in the Vizsla language, which is not English. And you are able to determine that there is something of a club or an establishment in Fartown that services only the most wealthy and most powerful of Visley. And normally, the most powerful and wealthy people in Satyrine occupy the Marquis district, not Fartown. So an establishment like this in Fartown would be rare and unusual. So I would say you can add 1 hidden knowledge to your pool.
That's funny. Shade. Oh my god, we're going to a party later.
And this
Are you
establishment is called the
talking?
Golden Ship.
Talking to yourself again, Shed?
Soraya. We're going to a party later.
Do be careful listening to those conversations. The ghosts can sometimes have a way of draining your mental power.
Oh, well.
She doesn't have any of that to begin with.
Wow,
so
go
she should be
fuck
fine.
yourself.
Oh, jeez.
Does that mean I don't have to go to the party?
No.
God.
Oh, Alana, please, would you turn that lamp on that's on the table?
Of course. And I'll turn the light on for Lucas.
I'll let the phone kind of like fall. Whatever.
Thank
It's
you.
still up.
I'd be remiss
So-
if I could not see any spirits that wandered through. That would be an etheric lamp. So keep your eyes peeled.
Just going to get to that. So there are lights and lamps and all of these things in Satyrine, but they're not powered by electricity. Electricity is not really a thing that people have an interest in. These are powered by a sort of ambient spiritual matter or energy called ether. And that's basically ghosts. So there's a very sort of like pale, almost sickly greenish glow that comes from this etheric lamp. And every once in a while, you'll see a shape. And now I say ghost, and most people think that that's a dead humanoid, but that's not necessarily the case. Sometimes you might look over it and you might see a sentence fragment or a doll. It's random, just anything that has died.
Like my sister's soul?
Don't have a soul.
If I didn't know any better, I'd say you hate each other.
What?
We do. We don't?
It's not what you said last time you needed to borrow my dungeon.
Cute.
I know I am.
Anyway, Soren, were you able to remake your spellbook?
Oh yeah, I appreciate your help, but unfortunately, without finding the old one, I was able to make a new one. See, and I'll hold it up.
I'm so relieved.
Very hefty book with just pitch black leather, and a surprising number of ink stains that somehow, even though they are black on black, are still very, very visible.
Is this book heavier than your last one, Soren?
Slightly, yes. I have added a couple of entries.
Oh, I was just implying that you'd probably prefer it to be heavier so someone can't steal it as easier.
Well, that is a good idea. I was just making it heavier because there are more pages, but practically speaking, I feel like that is perhaps a more clever reason.
2 birds in 1 stone, they say.
Speaking of birds and stones, are we gonna go to Mentors? Because you've been only talking about that for a month now, and I'm ready to get it over with.
Sure.
Your impatience is so charming.
We can certainly go. It will, not be an easy task. It will take probably most of the day, but
Maybe
be worth
even
it.
more.
well, I'm going to try to be optimistic.
What do you need help looking for, Soraya? It's a huge place. I know the more eyes, the easier it'll be.
Don't exactly know what it is. I do know what it is. It's fine. It's fine. Don't blame me. A monograph.
There's a lot of those. Anything
Right.
specific?
Would I, GM, how much could I describe about this monograph without outright describing the monograph that would graph?
Yeah, sure. Unfortunately, not a whole lot. So,
yeah, okay.
Monographs, like the name sort of implies that they are written, but that is not always the case. They can come in almost any form. It is literally just a physical ritual. It is the physical magic of the ritual. So what form that takes varies. So unfortunately, you don't know a whole lot about what this where this might be.
I'm hoping when I see it, I'll know. I don't have much information, unfortunately.
I have a feeling it's. I know Soren wants to be optimistic, but I have a feeling we'll be looking for a while.
I think you might be right.
On a side note, hey Lucas, how would you like a despair? And by how would you like a despair, I'm gonna say you can take a despair right now. On our next Sooth card, we have pulled the Imprisoning Ice. Again, this is notions, cats, clocks, and wind. So if that is associated with your heart, you may take a +1 on any of your ventures. Meanings for Imprisoning Ice are entrapment, imprisonment, danger, or conflict. The very environment holds you fast when you are trapped in the ice. You cannot move, and the cold threatens your life. And on and on. But you all hear a sort of like the low muttering of voices from the outside of this aqueduct. And Lucas, where would the entrance be? What door would you use to get in or out?
There's just... I imagine there would be a single door to the control room the central room that would be accessed from the convergence of all of these channels. So there'd be kind of like a platform with a single door.
Okay, sure.
Kind of a heavy wooden door. Kind of
gotcha.
high up,
Sure.
but no immediate way up to the door from there.
Sure.
Are you expecting more visitors?
Absolutely not.
Does this door have a lock?
No.
Okay. If that is the case, you hear this muttering and these footsteps approaching, and somebody pulls open the door. And coming down the stairs, there are two figures. The first one, not a nice sight. It is maybe a 7-foot tall man of some variety. It looked like he's 7 feet tall. Looks like he's all muscle. This enormous silver person wearing this black leather jacket and these sunglasses. I'm going to put a picture of this person in general chat on the Discord. Speaking of, if you want to join our Discord and see all of our lovely character art and inspiration, you can totally do that. Yeah, but this person comes in, black leather jacket, jeans, sunglasses. You notice a big, basically like a sawed-off shotgun.
Hi, honey.
Yep.
Okay.
And this guy comes down first, and you would know this person as Vi. He is the primary enforcer for the Mothlight District, and also coming in behind him is a human-shaped gap in reality. This is a hole in the actuality, a living portal. And you would know that this is the person who runs the Mothlight District. This is a person who typically goes by Boss Drap. And you would conveniently see that through this person is mentors, or at least one part of the infinite library that is mentors. It's books. It's just wherever this person walks, it's just all books, and occasionally you can see like this sort of like almost like feral human face, like just peering through the portal.
What was the 7-foot tall silver man's name again?
Vi, V-A-I.
Vi.
What is he doing here?
I hope no one minds, but I have the preference to keep hooligans out of my home, so if anyone has any objections now, I'm about to forcibly eject this 7-foot tall man.
What are they doing here?
I do not know, and I do not wish to know. However, I would much prefer a singular conversation with the portal man as opposed to his giant enforcer.
Vi, why don't you come with me?
So Vi just kind of like he seems to be mostly paying attention to his boss. He just looks over.
Drap,
Why don't I
surely.
stay
Oh, sorry.
right here?
Drap, surely you don't need this. It's us. Come on. And besides, I'll go with your silver friend here. I'll show him a good time. Come on, he's scaring my friends.
Drap, for his part, you do not see any facial expression, but his sort of body language communicates something. You know, maybe if I had done this a month ago, I wouldn't think I'd need this big bastard. But I've heard you, and he looks directly at Lucas, have had a ton of fucking fun in the 73, and it has become my problem.
You haven't been back to the 73 since then, have you?
I have had transit
no.
authority up my ass for 3 weeks. They're threatening to pull the bus routes to this neighborhood. Do you have any idea what of a problem that would cause? We have
No.
people who live here and work in the 73. We got people who live in the 73 and work here.
What can we do?
Please, this is hardly our problem. This is a him problem.
Oh, that's where you're wrong, buddy. That's where you're wrong. See, here's the thing. You might be able to try and pull that shit on me if you lived anywhere else than right here. Because I'm sorry. I'm selling this place.
That is wholly an inaccurate statement.
Yeah, sure. Well, look, I'm in contract negotiations, and you can tell me that I'm not selling it, and you can hang the fuck out in here until either the buyer kicks you out or until they knock this place down. If you want to stay in here when that happens, that's your prerogative.
You already have a buyer.
Yeah. We need the space.
Sweetheart.
Who needs this space?
Don't sweetheart me.
What? I'm offended. Drab. Come on. You and I can negotiate something. I'm sure that everything with the 73 can be smoothed out. You're a very competent... What is this creature?
Lacuna.
Lacuna.
You're a very competent lacuna. And you're actually just the lacuna I wanted to see.
I'm not going to address that right now.
Drap, if
Yes?
you don't mind me asking, what's the sell price for the aqueduct?
Let's just say it is in the order of hundreds of gem orbs.
Oh,
Because here's the thing. Our buyer wants to take this space and use it because apparently there's some magical ley lines of bullshit like that running around here. Wants to use this space to build a stop for the Indigo Rail so we can finally have a train station in and out of Fartown. Do you have any idea how good that would be for the people who live here? This would be good for all of fucking Fartown. Now we don't have to walk through the gates of the Hollows.
Who is this buyer?
There. Look, I can give you the name of the lawyer that I'm speaking with.
I think we know the lawyer that you're speaking with.
Or intimately familiar with him. If I don't want to interrupt this wonderful RP, but GM, I'm unsure if I'm ever going to have a chance like this again, and I would like to ask if I might use my secret soul on Drap.
Okay. All right. So for those of you watching at home, every Vizsla has a secret soul. There are 13 of these sort of there are 13 different souls that one can be of, and knowing somebody's secret soul is immensely powerful. This gives everybody who knows tremendous power over you, but you also have power over them. It's like I always compare. It's there's a dog on the leash, and if the dog pulls hard enough, that's going to be somebody else's problem. But yeah, you can.
Perfect. Well, my secret soul. You just want me to say what it is and say what I'd like to do?
Yeah, sure.
I chose the Whisper.
Okay.
It's so the benefit of the secret soul of the Whisper is mechanically my interaction pools are refreshed. I gain 3 Bene, which is great. But the next thing I say is believed by one person that I am speaking to, no matter what.
Okay.
And to Drap, I would simply utter, "You cannot sell this aqueduct because I am the rightful owner, and to do so would be improper."
Let me pull a card and think that one over real fast, if you give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, you can mark off your secret soul. That cannot be used again until you spend 1 crux to refresh it. And as you do, all of you in attendance, even Drap, actually, you all feel a lot closer to Lucas, but not in like a familial sense, or it's not a friendship that you necessarily feel. Just rippling out from Lucas as they make the statement is just the feeling of ownership or domination. And on the blue sun, which is the sun we are playing on tonight, we have pulled the Raven. So let's take a look at that. All right. Raven, value of 6. This is associated with secrets, ravens, books, and flame. So if those are associated with your heart, you have a +1 to all of your ventures until the next card pull. Meanings: jealousy, sight, and trickery. Ooh, I like it already. Companion to the secrets family, the raven sees everything and tells nothing. The raven is smarter and wiser than it lets on. Its intelligence, however, manifests in its crafty solution to problems. Some would use the word cheating, in fact. The raven's weakness is greed and jealousy. It wants what you have, and that probably means your secrets. Can you keep them? Oh, well, sorry. Can you keep your secrets from its watchful eyes? Is it even worth trying? Okay, so sure. I will say that Drap kind of stands there as this sort of like magical energy just ripples outwards. All right, you own the place? Fine. If you, I would very sincerely appreciate if you could prove that to me. If we could get some form of documentation, but if you own it, fine. But I'm just going to ask you, what's it worth to you? What's it worth that you get to say squatting here? And everybody else, he just sort of waves a hand, and it's like Doctor Strange, all the bricks and stone that make up the wall of the aqueduct just like fold sort of off into themselves, and you get a view of basically the entire Mothlight district from this elevated position. All those people out there, every single one of them, would be better if we had a station here. Do you have any idea how much good that could do to the city? And you're just gonna sit here and squat Wait, no, actually, he believes you own this place. So, and you're just gonna, you just insist on staying here in this abandoned old place.
I do believe that is how ownership works, is it not?
I might not be well versed in real estate law, but I do believe that's the general idea. And Drap, if I were adequately compensated for the loss of the structure, perhaps I would consider parting ways with it, but up until now, you seem to be completely content to steal it from me.
Well, look. Don't give me that tone, Manchester. It's not like you had proven to literally anybody that you own this place, and if you own it, fine. I'll stop with you. Fine. But don't give me that shit that it has been so obvious that you have owned this place.
Tell me, Drap, do you maintain the records in the clerk's office?
I maintain every record that is associated with this district. And there's no record of you owning this place.
And how long have you been doing that? Actually, would I know how long Drap's been in charge?
I don't know. Well, if you want, you could try and roll an intellect check. Or roll an intellect challenge, I guess.
You know what? Yeah, why not? Okay.
Okay, or is your heart associated with Secrets, Ravens, Books, and Flame?
It is not.
Okay, great.
Is there a way I could help if mine is?
I was gonna say I do too.
I'll say that we can reduce the challenge on this by 1. Because mechanically, that's basically the same as being trained in a skill. So if you have any skill, Lucas, on knowing the city, or maybe on memorization, or anything that you think would apply, let me know. I will say that this will be of a challenge 6. So with Soren's help, this will be down to a challenge 5. And you could spend Bene from your intellectual, to bring it down to challenge 4.
You know what? Yeah, we'll do that. I'll go from 4 to 3 Bene, and I'll
sure.
give it a roll. Ooh, a 5.
All right, great. This guy's been doing this for a long time. Far longer than one might expect someone to be in public service. This is on the order of 80, 90 years.
Okay. That's what I was afraid of. Well, I apologize your records are incomplete. However,
I've been doing this before you were born, asshole. All right? So don't give me records are incomplete. If you haven't turned something in, that's on you. Don't give me that shit.
such hostility. It's unbecoming of you.
Yeah, well, if you're gonna be a dick, that's what you're gonna get.
Drap, sweetheart, listen. Everything's okay. No one's fighting anyone. We're all friends here.
Now, I hate to stir the pot, as it were, but Shade, don't sound so disappointed.
Vi is actually going to it's just ever so slightly step closer as you know, as you say, I hate to stir the pot, and he just looks at you from his 7-foot tall vantage point.
I'm gonna stand up.
Do you?
If there's business with respect to the 73rd District, I must say it's all a misunderstanding. And obviously, your superior negotiation skills would get you a leg up against anyone else who might try to be demanding something from you.
Renchester, you're a real fucking idiot sometimes. You try to pull some magic shit onto this sleigh and then tell me it's a misunderstanding when they have diviners who can look and see exactly what happened. I watched you cast some kind of spell, scare the living shit out of that frog guy.
What's the big deal? He scared a frog guy. What?
I was simply showing him my credentials.
Don't give me that shit. We all know you cast something. We could see it.
See what?
Regardless, what's the big deal? It's not like we killed anybody.
Right? And would that have really been such a terrible thing?
Yeah, actually, you know what? It is a terrible thing because you can't just intimidate people into giving them
I
keys to
cross my arms
property.
I
lean
beg to. I don't
lean
think
forward.
That's accurate.
Drap, isn't that what you just came here with the intent to do?
You have not yet provided any documentation that you own this place. So if you do, fine. That's great. But I didn't know about it.
That's fine, and I'll be happy to provide it the instant I can procure it for you. I keep it stored someplace safe. Obviously, I can't keep it here with whoever just barging in. I look to the 7-foot monster. Could you please have your man step back?
There's no need for hostility here, Drab. Trust me, I would know.
What can we do to get things sorted, Drap? Except for the regards to the whole Aqueduct situation.
It's already settled.
Well, we've got 2 destroyed thought forms, as I understand. That's honestly the big deal, because those cost money. And that's not coming out of
Who owns
thin
them?
air or some shit. The Transit Authority. Transit Authority is the general name for the government of the 73.
That's right. That's right.
So they're looking for repayment for the thought forms?
Yeah.
How much are they worth? Surely they're only worth a couple homemade recipes worth of thoughts.
Both of them, it's on the order of 100 crystal.
How much is that like? How much would that be to us?
Let's see. You've been gathering. I think it's something all of you could afford. I don't think you've been shopping too much, and you've been generating income.
Drap?
I think that that's the equivalent of like $1,000 or something.
Oh,
like that.
okay.
Drap, I'll take care of it for Lucas.
For me, I didn't destroy the thought form. I
And-
didn't destroy both the thought forms.
For the thought forms, I'll take care of it, and we won't have any issues.
I appreciate it.
See?
So now you can leave, right?
Well,
Actually, I did have a second question as well. Are you thinking the same thing I am, Shade?
I think we are. Drab.
Yes.
We need to go to Mentors.
Now that sounds like a you problem.
Sweetheart. Go ahead,
know-
Alana.
Sorry. I know it's normally very rude, but I know some Lacuna do accept as a job payment. Is there anything we can offer you to head to Mentors?
Is there anything at all
At-
we can offer you?
At this point, I'm not sure there is.
Not even an
Look.
invitation to one of my dungeon parties.
Certainly not that.
Yeah, I can't
Look,
blame
if
for
you want to
that.
go to Mentors, just head out into the hollows and catch the train. It's not like we're going to be getting a train station around here anytime soon.
Oh, please.
Lucas. I'm so sorry that our conversation soured. We never meant any harm.
Alex, I have a quick question.
Sure.
Are mage coins only useful to Bizlight?
No, mage coins can be useful to anybody, really.
Maybe instead of crystals, some mage coins, 1 or 2, for all 5 of us.
For all 5 of you, how about 3?
Done.
On the way back too.
If you can find me, I'm not staying put. I got things to do.
That's fair.
Now, I'll warn you right now. I'm not near an entrance. So if you get lost, you're on your own.
Oh yeah, that's fine.
Soraya?
As long as this conversation can be over.
You get more flies with honey.
I don't want any flies.
Yeah, but you want books, don't you?
I probably wouldn't have that much crystal on me. So would I just be able to take care of that at this?
Yeah, you could take care of that at any point, really. You
I
could
would
just
be willing to
write
throw
a
in
check or something.
2 mage coins right now, and I would have the crystals on me. If you want to just pay me back later.
I have the mage coins. I don't have that much crystal, but I can pay you back.
I don't.
Yeah, that is fine.
I'll give anything that I have. I don't know what I have. I'll have to talk to Alex about it. But yeah, I'll give anything. I'm surely I have a crystal.
I have more than enough to cover the cost, and Ilana can just pay me back. That's way it's easy, and we're not trying to split costs.
I'll hand the 3 mage coins to Drap.
Sure. He takes them, which is really weird to see because he actually does hold them in his hand that is also part of the portal to Mentors, and he puts that in something that is like a pocket, except you can't really see it. So,
God,
he does something.
And we said it was 100 crystals?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
I'd love to see what else you're hiding in there.
I'm sure you would.
Yeah, I just said that.
Please stop.
He sort of like steps aside and extends an arm, and he actually like expands almost into more of like a elliptical portal that you could walk through. He's not going to make you walk through the person shape.
That is
Interesting.
considerate.
Ready, friends?
No. Yeah.
Ready for this to be over, so yes.
All right.
Pleasure doing business. I'll
Very
step
well.
through.
I'll go through as well.
I'll go through.
Before I step through, I'll just look up at Drap. Thank you, Drap. And I'll go through.
Yeah, I'll blow him a kiss on my way out.
Sure.
I will turn out the lamp and grab my suitcase before I go to step through.
All right, sure.
And as I get ready to go through, I turn to the 2 of them. While I am gone, if anything is out of place, I will find a way to make it your problem. And then I will walk through.
Sure. So you've all walked through at this point, correct? All right, this is your first time leaving Fartown. So let's pull a card.
Shade. Do you have any type of magic to maybe like
Oh shit.
find Drap later? Maybe like a tether? My magic's not really suited for it.
You know? I could figure something out.
All right, so on the Indigo Sun, we play the Doctor. This card is the nemesis to Vision's Swans, Blades, and Water, I think it is. So if your heart is associated with, Vision, Swans, Blades, and Water, all of your ventures until the next card pull will be at a -2. Everyone else, all of your ventures will be at a -1.
Why?
What?
So
That's really rude.
everything sucks right now.
Oh,
Everybody,
no.
that's terrible. I don't
And the
approve.
text
Oh, I don't feel
The text for the card is doctors help, but it's a help we'd rather not need. No one wants to see a doctor. We only see them if something's gone frighteningly wrong. They have knowledge, perhaps secret knowledge, and an insight few can match, but these are secrets about disease and death. Can one delve so deeply into such topics and not come out effective? The doctor is the nemesis of the Visions family, this enigmatic, genderless figure. This enigmatic, genderless figure is a harbinger of illness and plague. But the possibility of succor or even remedy from the disease that they can foretell. There is an inherent contradiction to the doctor. They are the hero that we really do not want.
Question.
Yes.
If I activate my ephemera, take me to your blackened sky, we can choose to ignore that?
Yes.
Then I will do so.
All right. What does this look like?
Oh, man. So, although I suppose I should really ask, what the heck do these card pulls, like, how do they manifest in the world around us?
Sure. So most of the time, it's more a feeling than anything. So these are described as the currents of magic. This is how magic is behaving in the world, and as inherently magical creatures, this is something you feel more than anything. On some occasions, you might see something, or there might be associated phenomena, but broadly speaking, it's a gut feeling more than anything else. And anything else you witness is a random chance event.
Okay. So, the ephemera, take me to your blackened sky. I'm not really sure what it would really look like, but I have the feeling that once called upon, it would take whatever awkward gut feelings we have and kind of quell them. And the air around us almost feels like it's charged with an electricity, kind of like that feeling you get before a really bad storm. And it just kind of erases the negative feeling and brings in that feeling of anticipation that you get when you're waiting for that to take place.
Got you. Okay. And I will also say that in addition to that anticipation, there is a profound emptiness you feel as you are cut off from the currents of magic and you are cut off from the path of suns.
Important to note, we may choose to ignore the Sooth deck until
Yes.
the next sunrise. So if you still want it, you can have it. You just don't need it.
After Lucas does this, I want to see what direction Drap walks off to. And maybe take a look
sure.
at the stacks and try and get a feel for where they're heading.
Sure. So why don't I first describe this library? Because Mentors is infinite. You step out into this library and already things are kind of weird. The floor is not like, it looks like if you look off to your, that's my right hand. If you look off to your right, it looks like there's like a sort of like tile or some sort of a manufactured type floor extending off to your right, but you're currently in a like almost a break point where the tile is sort of giving way to soft earth underneath. There's like patches of grass growing, and if you look to your left, there is definitely a lot more, well, outside. Broadly, you're at a break point right now. To your right, there are towers of bookshelves. There are bookshelves that are 8 stories tall, and on top of them, there are other bookshelves that are of similar height. This goes on as far as the eye can see, and extending into utter darkness. The place is dim to begin with, and it is oppressively quiet. there's a definite chill in the air as wind from this outer place to your left is sort of like sweeping in and rustling pages. And even as you look to your left and you see these like these sort of like natural looking structures, like you look at a cave and like it's made of just books that are just like crammed together and shoved together. You've got like books that are shoved inside other books where the pages are like overlapping like that. It's a mess. But almost everything you see here that could be considered a structure or anything of a similar size is literally made of books. And it extends in every direction as far as you can see. You cannot see the ceiling. You cannot see the ceiling on the interior of this building. And so that is what you see. Broadly, you see Drat nearby, and he seems to be looking over something at like a table, sort of basically in a table near the break point.
Right.
You hear a little bit of skittering or soft footfalls as you notice a few people at the stacks just observing.
Well, we're here, Soraya. Is there anything you can tell us so we can help you?
Not particularly. I would like to. I don't know. Before I give whatever weak description that I can give, I would like to summon a friend.
Okay, sure.
So I'll use this protective circle because I remember that's a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would like to summon a demon.
All right.
Let's say level 2.
Okay. Sure. So why don't you describe your summoning for us? A quick mechanical note for those of you at home. Mindy and I already played out the mechanics of this in a side scene. We did a flash forward. So we, because of the card pull we pulled in that scene, we already know that her summoning was successful. So we'll just play it out now.
So I take a minute, just kind of focusing or whatever, and then I would like to kind of draw my finger in the air, and as my finger traces, it's almost like it's tearing the fabric of reality, so that my little demon friend can poke his head out. Sure. I'll back up. And let it emerge.
Sure. So what comes out very slowly is this hunched over figure that is, it looks like it's wearing it's like this black tattered cloak. And underneath the cloak are just all black clothes, these big, thick, heavy boots that make almost like a rattling chain type sound. With the footfalls. The face, however, is a stark white sort of plague doctor mask. This demon comes in with a book in one hand and a cane in the other, and is just kind of very making their way through, and it looks very difficult for this creature. And it sort of gets in, and the first thing it does is just starts coughing a ton.
Oh, Lord. Stop.
What did you want?
I need your assistance in acquiring a monograph. I will give, again, the vaguest description that I have, which is not much. But I will describe it. Also, noting that I will kind of turn back to my companion so that I can reiterate all that I don't know.
Yeah, sure.
But, and I need your help to find it.
What do I get?
Is there anything around here that looks... We already got into trouble today.
Stacks of books. Just let him destroy them.
I don't want him to destroy what I need.
Well, we can... After procuring what you need?
You like to break things, right?
Is that a question?
Yes.
No, I'm asking Shade. Did you raise
Oh no,
your
I
hand?
think she's raising her hand. See, she likes to break things.
I like to break things.
Please,
Me.
Please stop
Sorry.
talking.
Fuck you.
You like to break things?
It looks over at the book. The books. What makes you think I need your permission to break them?
You are very tiresome already. How about... You don't want... What if you could break something different?
Cox had said.
I will reach my hand out, my left hand, and I will very delicately point to my ring finger.
Mm-hmm.
That satisfy, at least for now, until you can get what I need.
Yes.
I turn my back.
Hobbles forward. Very delicately and gently with these long, spindly fingers that almost end in almost like syringes. It like takes your ring finger and just slowly bends it back well past the breaking point. So this is a level 2 creature. So you have sustained 2 injuries that cannot be healed until this creature has completed its summoning. So you have to keep those 2 injuries for the next hour.
Fantastic.
Shit. Soraya, are you okay? Do you want me to... I might be able to...
Nope.
Just gonna look at it. Go.
The demon sort of becomes like a cloud of ravens and just scatters in all directions.
I would like to lift up my hollow cane, unscrew the stopper, and hand it to Soraya. Would you like something for the pain?
I will take it.
Right.
And after I do so, I will pull out a little piece of fabric and something that looks similar to like a very crude, something that could be used like as a splint. This is not the first time that she has done this. It is very clear.
All right.
Thank you for the drink. Shit. It's my least favorite kind of break, not drink. Although that was kind of shitty, but thank you anyway.
Well, let's get started.
All right.
Is there any organization at all to mentors?
I would say that there is so much here that you would need to succeed at an intellect challenge to be able to make sense of it. Because again, like not all of this is even in the Vizsla language. You're looking at some books and like you don't even know like what language they're written, and some of them honestly are books that you don't think belong in a library in the first place, and you might question why they're here. You, if you look long enough, you would find personal journals, handwritten cookbooks, unfinished stories. This is the final resting place of everything that has ever been written.
I would like to start to try and weave. I want to weave together two things that seem to be the opposite. I want to weave together illumination and obfuscation. I want to illuminate what. Go ahead.
What are the absences on your weavings?
Light, truth, clarity on darkness, and then absence, cold, building on fire.
Okay, I'm hesitant about illumination and light. Sounds synonymous.
Okay.
So if there's another quality from fire, I'm assuming.
Uh-huh.
If
Illumination
there's
is from
another
fire.
quality. Yeah, if you could replace illumination, because that sounds like light to me.
Dang, that sucks. Okay. Never mind. I'll need some time to think about it.
Okay, sure.
I am at least going to at least try to start searching this general close area.
Mm-hmm, sure.
Do you have like a topic we can start looking for? And then we can maybe.
Would I know
This is utilitarian information. It's not really. It wouldn't really have a genre. Like.
Yeah. I don't know. How will we know when we find it? Do we know that much? Do we know how we'll know if we find it?
You will know when you find it.
Okay.
That much is almost certain.
Okay.
Yes.
Soraya or everybody?
It depends on how you find it, I think, at that point. But broadly speaking, I think you'll all know when you have it.
Okay. I think we'll know it when we find it.
I have one more question.
Sure.
What type of people are the people of the stacks? Friendly? Hostile?
Right now, observant. They're not approaching. They're just watching. And you do notice that you are definitely being watched. There are quite a few of them that are like, they seem very adept at climbing on these bookshelves. Some of them look like they're like maybe 10 stories up, climbing around on these bookshelves, looking down at you. It looks like they're wearing these like, what remains of the clothes that they came in here with are threadbare rags almost. Most of the clothing, though, is made up of some variety of pages.
If we're having issues, maybe we can ask. But I'd rather not talk to them unless we have to right away. They don't look like they want to get close to us.
I would rather not talk to anyone if we can help it. So I'm of the same opinion, at least for now.
So, Soraya, we already know that your summoning was successful. It'll take an hour for this to all go down. Is there anything anyone would like to do over the course of that hour?
I have one more thing I want to try and do before I start helping Soraya search.
Sure.
I want to try and weave relationships and imprisonment to create a tether between me and Drap, so we can find a way back to him.
That's interesting. Okay. Let me quickly check the level of effect table to see what sort of level that might be. What is the maximum amount of what's your sorcery? How much
7.
sorcery do you have total? Okay.
7 total.
Yeah, sure.
Even if it's just like the thinnest of spider's silk between us.
Sure, yeah. I'll say this is a level 5 effect. So you would need to spend 5 sorcery, and this is something you are doing to a person. So this will be a challenge against Drap's level.
Okay.
What is your normal time duration?
Short.
Sure. Okay, so
I
that's
want to
on
bump
the
that up.
order of that's on the order of rounds.
I'll use all 7 sorcery. So I don't want to get stuck in here.
Sure, I'll say you can use all 7 sorcery to have that effect last for days. We'll check depletion every day.
Okay.
If we require that amount of time down here.
Okay.
So yes, you can spend that amount of sorcery. You will be rolling 2 dice. You do not know Drap's level. Go ahead and roll 2 dice. With your challenge is reduced by 7.
Can I also use a sortilege to reduce it 1 more?
You can use the sortilege to add an extra die. You cannot use a sortilege to reduce a challenge. All sortilege does is add extra dice.
Okay. Well, do I need to succeed on both dice?
You do. This is a magical task.
So if I roll another die, it'll give me an extra chance to succeed. I'm going to use a sortilege.
Okay, sure. You can spend a sortilege. So you'll be rolling 3 die, and the challenge has been reduced by 7. So just give me the numbers on the d10s. And make sure you note which ones are your magic die.
This is a boring die.
All right.
So I got a 5 on the regular die.
Okay.
And then I got a 6 and a 1 on the other 2, on the magic dice.
I'll say you've succeeded. Yeah. Yeah, you've definitely succeeded. So what does this look like as you establish this tether?
I pull some hair and it turns to spider silk. Shade would be very familiar as it's commonly used in the Spiders game. And it'll attach through Drap. And it's just the barest of spider silk that you can barely see. Mm-hmm. And it's attached to my hair.
Gotcha.
And as I do this, I let out, thank goodness. We'll be able to find Drap.
That was clever.
Well done, Alana. Well done.
All right, now we can search without worry.
All right.
I would like to breathe and get my sorcery back.
Yes, you can do that. You can expend one of your action, or you could expend a 10-minute or hour rest if you would like to.
10-minute.
Sure. All right. This seems like a great time to take a quick break, and then we will return and see the results of this summoning, and we will go from there. I'm not muted now, am I?
Correct.
All right, great. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. As our 5 wonderful Visley continue to explore the infinite library that is Mentors, I believe Soren had a plan to accomplish prior to our demon returning back with its findings.
Yeah, just as soon as the demon goes off and we have done our things, I would like to step maybe 2 steps away from the party and reach into my bag and pull out a blender, like the kind of contraption appliance that you would use to make a smoothie. And I'm going to pull it out and hold it in front of my face and look at it, and I'm going to say, yeah, so I am here and I am looking to find the hoarder, but I was curious if you might be able to help me find a monograph while I am here. It seems like you are knowledgeable. Could you help me?
Are you talking to a blender?
Have you lost your marbles?
Hold on just 1 second.
I understand why you broke up with him now. Very clear.
Just give me a moment. I swear it will all make sense.
Will it?
I don't think I know this library as well as you think I do. I know there is a person here who I wish was not here. However, if you are looking for knowledge, pursuing a hoarder of knowledge might be a good place to start.
Did we hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, we're all going crazy.
Your blender's talking to you.
More talking inanimate objects. Why?
Yeah, do your appliances not talk to you?
Is there a spirit attached to that
My
blender?
sword talks to me.
I choose to ignore most things that talk to me, inanimate or animate.
You have a sword.
Besides the point. And I agree with you, Soraya. I think ignoring is the best option.
But the blender speaks wisdom.
It's not my blender. Go on, Soren.
Yes, my blender is quite intelligent, and it gives me a great deal of knowledge and wisdom. So,
I want you to say that again, out loud, again.
Yes, my blender is quite intelligent.
Okay.
And it gives me a great deal of knowledge and wisdom.
Just checking.
He said it again. He did.
This isn't the most bizarre statement I've heard in my time.
To be fair, it's not the most bizarre thing I've seen in my time.
Yeah. So what did your blender say?
Were you not listening?
No.
It literally just spoke out loud.
I know, I wasn't listening.
Something about a hoarder.
Yeah, I'll tell you later. Anyways, I would like to pull out my my spell book, and I would like to flip through and cast a spell called Stare of the Abyss. And I will gain 3 enhancements to my intellect pool. But because the abyss stares back, I will also gain 2 vex in my perception pool.
Okay, sure.
And I would like to make an intellect check in order to try to navigate Mentos.
Okay, sure. So would you like to use Sword Ledge for that? I'm assuming, because that's what your enhancements are.
Yeah, I believe that would be very wise, since I am casting the spell to do it.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I don't, off the top of my head, remember how enhancements work if they're different than Sword Ledge, but for now, I'm just going to say you spend them, like you would spend Bene, because to my knowledge, that's what it is. Although I will check, and if that's wrong, we'll correct it for future games. But right now, you can spend any number of these sortilege to assist with this particular intellect roll. The library is infinite, so this is a very difficult task. I will say this is of a level 11.
And so could I use all 3 enhancements to give myself...
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
The enhancements are only rolling extra dice, though.
Right,
so
right.
You would still need to bring it bring the challenge down further. Do you have any skills associated with the task?
Well, I do have a skill in searching.
Okay, that'll definitely apply.
And I would argue that perhaps a skill in formal magic, while not applicable in all senses, a lot of our magic is codified. And so there would be an organizational structure, and so that I might be able to understand and make sense out of a very complex organizational system such as this one.
It's a reach, but because this is so hard, I'll give it to you.
Okay, that's fair.
Is there anything else you would like to add? You can spend a Bene from your intellect pool. You can spend 1 Bene from your intellect pool.
Yeah, I will do that.
All right. So you've brought the challenge down 3 levels. So your challenge is currently an 8.
All right. And I believe I am rolling 4 die because of my 3 enhancements.
And make sure you note which of your magic die and which is your standard die.
All right. This black one is my standard die, and the rest will be magic.
Sure.
All right. The standard die is a 5, but in my magics, I have a 9, a 7, and a 2.
Oh, okay. Yeah, damn. Wow. So let's see. The challenge was about 8. So yeah, you only got 1 success out of because your target number was 8 there.
Right.
I will say that you're not quite. I'll put it this way. What exactly would you like to be looking for?
I would like to gain a general sense for where approximately I might find the hoarder I am looking for, and where approximately we might find this monograph. I'm not looking for like a specific location. I'm not looking for, Dewey Decimal Number, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I'm looking for that section.
Got you. I will say that you recall something that was told to you a month earlier, that you were, when you can see the stars, you'll know you're close. And part of this library is extending to some sort of wilderness, wild exterior.
All right.
So that seems like a solid direction. you might go in. And I'll say that that's what you get out of that.
Perfect.
Anything else?
I will just recommend that we travel that direction because it's based on my understanding of the layout here in the library, which, I am not expert. I've only spent passing time in here. I think this is probably the best way to go. And I will point in that direction.
I would say about this time, Soraya, your demon returns. In this cloud of ravens sort of flies from all corners of the library to sort of reform into this hunched plague doctor figure who is still holding a cane in one hand, holding their same book in the other, but is holding another small journal almost on top of it, and the demon hands that to you. On opening it, most of the pages are blank, but you see one is sort of like a map of like this area of mentors. You can see the split between the sort of wild half and the interior half. And in a further on in like the wild half, there's a symbol of the silver sun, just like almost stamped into the pages, or into the page rather. Demon points to that. Something lives there.
What kind of something?
Sort of like almost like shrinks up into itself as if it's hesitant to say the word.
Are you scared of this thing? You're a demon.
It's an angel.
And you think the angel has what I'm looking for?
It hoards knowledge.
Let's go
What
have
does
a...
it look like?
I don't know.
Well, let's go find it and have a talk with it.
Is that what you're looking for, Soraya? Maybe?
Closest lead we have.
Aren't you looking for a hoarder too, Soren?
What is a hoarder?
Like, what does it mean to be a hoarder?
It is
No.
exactly what it sounds like. It is someone who hoards things.
So the literal sense, okay.
Yeah,
In this case, this angel hoards knowledge.
perhaps. Would you mind if I took a little while and studied my book before we continued on? I would like to refresh my mind on a spell or two.
Out of curiosity, how far away would this area be indicated on the map?
It's unclear, but it's not on the order of like days or anything. It's close enough to walk to in a reasonable amount of time.
Thank you for your service. You're free to go.
Sort of becomes its cloud of ravens and flies away.
Since we're taking a moment, I would also like to take just a few moments to time-wise. How do I undo it? How do I rest my injuries?
Yeah, you can use one of your rests to get rid of your injuries. That could be your hour rest, your 10-minute rest, or one of your action rests, however long you want to spend.
If I'm looking to read for an hour, you might use the hour to save a shorter rest for later.
An hour is a long time.
I'm sorry, I just need a moment, and I'll pull piles of paper and ink and books out of my bag and begin arranging them and copying things and making some notes.
Excellent. Excuse me just a moment. I flop my suitcase down and I flip the latches and open it, and I sit cross-legged inside of the luggage. And I look at everyone and say, I will be right back. Should you decide to start moving while I am still away, feel free to drag me. And I would like to astral project.
All right. How long can you do that for?
A round, and I can spend sorcery to continue the effect.
Okay, sure. And how far can you move with that?
Every round I can travel a very far distance,
Okay.
ignoring all physical barriers and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And my goal would be to just float through in the direction of where this angel should be,
Mm-hmm.
and see if I can make contact,
All right.
and maybe try and lead it back without us having to just traipse around looking for it.
Okay, what exactly form do you take? Because I'm not sure if you can communicate with it in this astral form.
I am not sure either, but it's just my hope.
What
It's a spirit
color
form.
Sure. What color is the thing?
Pale.
Pale. Okay. I will say that's not compatible.
Okay.
This creature has 2 domains, and that is not one of them.
Okay. I still do it though.
Yes, sure. I will say it would probably take very far. It's a bit away. I'll say if you spend probably like 6 sorcery total, you can probably make it out there.
Okay. Make it out there?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're moving fast. You're phasing through shit. Things only become more wild as you go. You start seeing these like big snow-covered like fir trees. It gets significantly colder out this way. You look to your left and your right, and you don't see bookshelves anymore. But as you're walking through this wilderness, if you pass like a large rock, you would notice that no, that's not a large rock. That's a bunch of books. If you were to look too closely to the trees, you would notice that they're made of books as well. Even the leaves or I guess fir needles are just like rolled up bits of paper, like almost like that little rolled up bit of paper you would find in a fortune cookie. So that's what you see on your way out, and eventually you get to a point where even the snow and the trees sort of start to fade away, and you're almost traveling through the sky. You're flying over cloud, basically, and out in the distance you see this creature, which, if that's not your angel, that's concerning. It's this vaguely humanoid shape, but it is long and lanky, and it is there are all these holes like going straight through it. It's got a blank white head and there's no face there. There's another large gap where its face might be. It's sitting sort of like it's like cross-legged, seems very relaxed, and there's an inverted pyramid floating above his head. I will post a picture of this being in Discord, and that is what you see before you are pulled back to yourself.
Well, upon confirming I can't interact with it, I will just warp back, and
Sure.
I'm done.
Sure,
I'm good.
Get back. Mm-hmm.
Did you find what you were looking for, Lucas?
I found what we're looking for. It's a bit away, but it is there. So, hooray.
Good, because I'm getting bored.
Please don't light anything on fire.
I was considering it.
That's why I said something.
All right, so if there's nothing else anyone would like to get done over this hour, you begin your trek through this wilderness area. Is again, like I described it, is this snowy northern forest of some variety. There's a slight elevation to it, almost like you're climbing up some sort of a hill, but it's hard to tell. Everything is made of books and pages, except for the snow. That, fortunately enough, is just snow. You notice, again, skittering all around you are these people of the stacks. They're still watching you. They're still observing. But they do not approach. But it is not long before you find even the snow begins to sort of like congeal almost into these like clouds, and you're basically walking on air up to the creature that I described. Just sitting there.
With my interaction in that last month with an angel, what do I know about angels? I might even turn to Soraya as well.
Mm-hmm.
Goetics summon angels and demons. Anything we should be wary of? GM?
Yeah, so this is something Soraya would know. Angels are devoted to this thing they refer to as the legacy. So the angels believe that the universe is that the actuality is a spell that is in the middle of being cast. That is what they believe the actuality to be. And the legacy are all of the objects and bits of information and creatures associated with the caster of that spell, which they refer to as the absolute. So angels protect and collect pieces of the legacy. And that is their primary goal. They also hate the shit out of demons.
Oh, our friend already left, so that should help. I will explain that in very simple terms.
Sure.
So try not to be rude.
So what you're saying is that if you summoned a demon and told it to move in a certain direction away from the angel might be compelled to give chase?
GM, what
I mean, maybe. It depends on, like, if this thing can, blast it from 80 feet away, it might just not move. So it depends on the creature.
There are lots of variables.
It also depends if what you're looking for is a physical object that is near them or with them.
That's what I'm.
Or it also, like, if you start to summon a demon in front of it, you'd probably encounter some problems.
Oh yeah, we're gonna avoid that.
All right. Shade, are you bored?
Very. Do I get to talk to the angel?
Yes. In fact, if you're particularly bored, I require the angel to not be where it is. I require for it to leave, either willingly or perhaps, if that does not go well, by force.
Well, you know how good I am at both of those.
I figure try one, and if the other doesn't work.
Why exactly do you need it gone?
It is important to the knowledge I am pursuing.
Does it have something you want?
Oh, that I don't know it very well, no. I don't actually care much about the being itself, I just want it not there.
Don't shoo it away until we have what I need.
That's totally fine. Let's get the information. And then perhaps be rid of the creature.
You say it so casually. It is an angel.
It's very casual. What makes you think an angel is any stronger than a demon?
Or any more important.
Exactly.
I follow all of your leads.
Okay.
All right. So this creature is sitting before you, waiting.
Oh, did we do that in front of it?
I mean,
We would have.
You might have done it from a way off, but it's the only thing. Everything else around it is just empty
Gotcha.
sky.
Okay,
So it might have been a speck, like yay big on the horizon, but
perfect.
Fuck this up, Shade.
Rude? We go up to him.
sure. Gucci's there. You've taken quite a long time.
You were expecting us.
I was.
Why is that?
I knew you would be here.
How did you know?
I read it in a book.
I would be fascinated to read this book. Do you know who we are
Maybe you
then?
will. I do.
Do you know everything that's going to happen?
No.
Do you know if you're going to tell us what we want?
I don't. I only know that you were the last page.
I'm Scheherazade. It's nice to meet you.
It's good to meet you too. My people do not give out our names. It sort of nods towards Soraya. Reasons. But
Fair.
there are some people who refer to me as the Hoarder.
Can you the hoarder?
The Hoarder, yes.
The hoarder. They give you that name for a reason, I'm assuming.
I collect many things here. And I distribute them as needed.
I'm looking for a monograph.
I only have one.
Must be the one I'm looking for. Are you willing to exchange?
The angel sort of like bends. It doesn't really like get up and move or anything, but it almost just like bends its like neck out and like moves over to make eye contact, quote unquote. It sort of makes this like eye contact with Soraya. Why aren't you asking?
I'm the cuter twin.
My sister is better at talking to people.
Also that.
But this is your book, your story.
I
Are
know.
you willing?
You said it was the last page?
I did.
I look around. Is anybody coming?
Nope.
Are you willing to part with this monograph?
I could. I would need something from you first. A dream from each of you.
Anything else? I can give you anything else.
I'm not sure I can use anything else.
We need this monograph. There has to be something else.
I don't have dreams. They were taken from me. Which is why we need the monograph.
I see. Creature sort of looks away for a second. Treat her well. She is of the legacy. Creature vanishes. And interesting enough, so does the whole skyscape thing. And if you were to look further back, so does the whole forest thing. You're in a brightly lit portion of the library. And out of curiosity, Shade, what did you look like when you were like 5 years old?
Very girly. Pink. Black hair put into 2 ponytails at the top. Probably very innocent and naive.
That is the monograph you see before you. Hi!
Soraya, what is that?
That's what we need. Hi.
What's your name?
Soraya.
Oh, I have a sister named Soraya too. You look a lot like her.
Yeah. What a coincidence. Do you mind coming with us? Just for...
Kind of looks around. Yeah, I'm kind of lost right now.
You stay with us. I'll keep you safe.
Okay.
And I'll reach a hand out to her.
Oh, she definitely takes it.
Real old grown-up Shade is stressed the fuck out and is walking away.
All right, sure thing. It is only then that as you begin to walk away, Soren, you notice that your blender has moved. It is now in the center of this very brightly lit portion of the library, and it again changes. And the earth begins to tremble and quake beneath you as tile and bits of floor just like snap upwards from this vast root system that appears to be coming out of nowhere. The blender itself twists and ties itself into knots and eventually erupts into this enormous tree, which again, it stretches far beyond what you could see, much closer to the ceiling than you could ever perceive. This terrible, horrible, gnarled black thing looms over this portion of the library.
I draw my
Soraya,
guns.
if you couldn't tell before, this is almost certainly a demon.
I draw my guns.
Sure.
Soren?
Yeah, I believe that our friend here has some information to give us.
I'm gonna keep baby Shade behind me.
Answers for answers. What do you want to know?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. How many are you willing to answer? This is a fair question before we begin.
I'm gonna pull a sooth card. Let's find out. 'Cause I forgot to pull one prior to this. So on the Gray Sun of Lies and Shadows of Illusion, oh shit, oh, we're not pulling that one. We play the Unknowable Truth with a value of 4. Magic of the Indigo is enhanced. Magic of the Gray is hindered. Let's see. This is you for Unknowable Truth. Value 4 secrets, ravens, books, and flame. If those are associated with your heart, you have a +1 on all adventures. The raven stands watch over the unknown. As we strive for understanding, the closer we get to the truth, the farther away it becomes. We know this to be true, but only after we've made the journey. The truth we learn is that we can never actually know the truth. At the very heart of the secrets family, the unknowable truth is the ultimate secret. The secret that cannot be, by its very nature, learned. But still, we try anyway. It is futile, and yet it is productive. Even when you climb an infinite mountain, you are still moving forward. 4.
4. This is good. I feel like perhaps we could answer some of these questions in a longer form, but the one that I really want to know now, the one that I think makes the most sense, is tell me about the Demiurge. Tell me about the Vespertine. Tell me, are they related?
So I'm gonna be clear. To me, that's 3 questions: the Demiurge, the Vespertine, and are they related?
Yeah.
All right, sure. So as long as we're on the same page, that's 3 questions. A book falls from the sky. It is this big gray thing. But interestingly enough, I mean, as compared to all of the other stuff in this library, it looks rather new. Pages unfold and the book opens by itself, and the pages are just all this blank gray, and you find yourself standing in this gray in an instant. You look all around and there's nothing but this dull gray that you're standing in. The Demiurge watches this place. This is the night side of the gray sun. The Demiurge is its warden. Each sun has a night side to it, which is not the inverse of what the sun represents, but it is that taken to a unhealthy extreme. The night side of the gray sun is the nothingness that is behind a lie. So if you say, oh, I went to the bank today, you did not go to the bank today. There is no event in which that happened. That is nothing. That is what that represents, is the utter absence. And the warden is the most powerful creature, broadly speaking, on any given part of its sun. Each sun has 2 wardens, a night side and a day side warden. So the most powerful creature in the nothing is this Demiurge. Another book falls from the sky as you're pulled out of the night side of the gray sun, or at least some facsimile of it. This one is a lot smaller, and this is actually the book that you picked up in Cylene's house, or Cyrene rather. This is a short history of the Vespertine, which describes this cult that is associated with demons of the dark. And demons of the dark, their primary goal is the unmaking of the actuality. before the Path of Suns, everything was the dark. The demons of the dark are attempting to reclaim what they see as rightfully theirs and unmake the actuality. The Vespertine are a group of Vislay and other human-ish non-demon creatures who are a sort of cult terrorist organization that helps the demons of the dark complete their goals.
Yeah. And are they related?
By a point. Their paths converge at one singular instance, one singular person. What falls down next? A single envelope. And in it you see random like orders, some of which are like, go to this place, deliver this thing, da 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 da. Others are more concerning, having to deal with executions, black rituals, and other horrible things. At the bottom is the phrase, by the order of the Vespertine, signed by one Euphemia Maxim Michich.
All right. This makes a great deal of sense. I don't know if you know the answer to my last question.
Can't hurt to ask.
That is true. Tell me about the war.
There's a brief tremor, and this question takes a little bit longer to answer, as the demon is not the only one who answers this question. A small congregation of people of the stacks have gathered around you. They're not looking hostile or anything, they're just observing. And once a sizable number of these people have gathered, they all say in unison, "We don't talk about the war."
That isn't an answer to my question.
Do you want... No. Do you really want to push that?
Soren.
Soren, we need to get out of here, preferably in one piece.
Soraya, Mini Shade sort of grabs your hand a little tighter as the people of the stacks gather.
Friend.
I'm going to just stare very intently at the creature. You have not answered my question. I will return, and you will answer it.
I look forward to it. Do you head out?
Yeah, I will turn and walk away.
Sure. On the pale sun we play the Savage Sword. This is one that we have played before. Value 3 Vision, Swans, Blades, and Water. If those are your associated with the heart, you have +1 to all of your ventures. Meanings: War, Savagery, Strength, Violence, Brute Force. The sword is a weapon of war, a metaphor for any kind of weapon one might wield. The Savage Sword is our basis nature, our predilection towards violence, and our shameful bloodlust. It's a little on and on and on.
My trigger finger is getting a little itchy.
As it should. Because as you start walking back, you begin to see corpses, dead bodies of these people in the stacks.
Are they fresh bodies?
Oh, very fresh. Some are still bleeding.
I draw my blood. I've got my guns out.
Sure.
I stand directly in front of Soraya.
Baby Sheeta's right beside me.
I want to
she's
stand. I'll take care of her.
Out from multiple different sort of aisles in this library. You see these creatures. They are tall, gold-skinned, stark white hair. They're wearing these blood-red coats and these large black boots, black pants, no shirt underneath the coat, but it's closed up anyway. They carry a variety of weapons on them. Guns, swords, and you see 4 like stone horses that you didn't notice before when you were heading off this way. They're almost like chess pieces. They're not like moving like things. They're just like literally stone statues of horses. I would say that at one point or another, living in the city as long as you have, you would all know who these people are. These are the Thaw. These are very dangerous people. They're heading your way and with very obvious malicious intent.
How many of them are there?
There are, it is 6 or 8. I'm treating them all as one creature for the sake of combat efficiency, but I think it's like 6 or 8 individuals.
God.
Have I ever fought these before?
Oh no, people who fight these are in for a bad time.
Okay. As they get close?
Mm-hmm. Sure, there's 8 of them.
As they get close, I will reveal my secret heart.
Oh shit, okay.
My secret heart is the blade.
All right.
I get a +3 to all of my attacks, I think.
Oh boy, all right.
Alex, how far is Drap?
Oh, he's a bit away. He is a bit away. I would say he's probably, if you like sprinted, maybe a minute and a half, 2 minutes.
Can I get off an ephemera before we enter combat as they approach?
Yeah, sure.
I'm going to activate Unraveled Cloth Across the Sky.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is my skirts flutter and you all feel a little sharper, a little more nimble on your feet. And everyone will get a +1 to all defenses as long as you can see me or until the effect depletes.
Mm-hmm. And Shay, why don't you describe for us real quick what your Secret Soul activation looks like?
The blade is swift and full of action and initiative. It acts with precision, skill, and sometimes intuition. The blade is so sharp and so precise that it can heal to cut as well as to harm. It never inflicts unintentional harm. My guns, they begin to glow a brighter silver as if they are, as if swirling with fire and darkness, both at the same time wrapping around themselves. And my eyes are bright red and, hold on. And I have a wild gregarious grin on my face. I am excited. I have I have not looked at this alive in a long time.
All right. And what are the effects of the thing?
+3 to
mechanical
attacks.
effects?
+3 to attacks and deals +3 damage until the sun next sets.
Okay, sure. Okay, so before we go into roll initiative, and this will be basically, are you higher or lower than the level of the Thaw Squad? I will say that you would know that these are magical creatures. You would need 2 successes to successfully harm them.
Okay.
So if everyone could roll your die, you can spend Bene from your physicality pool. 1 to decrease the challenge from a 6 to a 5. And yeah, I think that's all I got off the top of my head. Soraya, what's your number? 2. Okay.
8.
Alana, you're okay.
I got it's technically a 1. Well, no, it was a 0. I got a 0.
Yeah. Well, at least you didn't spend any magic on it.
Just a physicality.
All right, great, Shade. Mm-hmm.
Also 8.
8, all right. So we have Soren, Lucas, and Shade. You will go before the Thaw. The Thaw will go, and then Soraya and Alana. As far as the this layer concerned, however you would like to break up your turns, who goes first, second, or third, that's up to you. But we'll start off at the quote-unquote top of the order.
Brains before beauty.
Well, that must be me. And I will pull out... I've got my spell book in my hand, and I will just flip open a page very quickly, check a note, put it back in my pocket as they're approaching. And then I'm actually going to take out a little bottle of ink, open it, pour a dabble of ink on my hand, rub it together, and then as I do this, I'm going to cock an arm back, cock an arm forward, and cast Zamra's Bolt of Sorrow. I cock my arm from my clenched fist and loose a bolt of dark energy that strikes a target within a long range. Living targets suffer damage equal to the spell's level.
And what is the level of spell?
It is 2.
Okay, sure. So you will automatically have 2 to your die roll, and you add +1 dice. So yeah, you'll be rolling, and your challenge to beat is 5.
All right. Could I burn a sortilege in order to make that a 4?
You could burn a sortilege to roll an extra dice.
To roll an
which
extra
cannot reduce
die.
the number.
Right. And so I'm rolling 2, and then I could choose to roll an additional one with sortilege if I wanted to.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's do that. All right. And they are all magic, so that doesn't make a difference which one is which.
No, there's one is always a non-magic die, even if you're casting spell.
The black one.
Sure.
That is for the ink.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is fairly good. The black one is a 9.
Okay.
And then my magic one is a 7. And
Okay.
I have another one that failed, but I have got 2 successes.
Yeah, sure. So you cock your arm out, and you blast. Wait, sorrow is red, right? So this blast of red energy comes out of your hand, and it hits one of the Thoughts squarely in the chest, and silently this person's like pushed back a couple of feet, has to really brace themselves to stay upright. But yeah, you land a solid hit.
Good. That is my turn.
All right. Lucas, Shade, who's next?
Go ahead, Lucas.
Well, I never recovered, so I guess I need to spend my action to recover my sorcery. Otherwise, I am useless.
Okay, sure. You spend an action rest to regain your sorcery. You take a very deep breath.
Okay. I'm going to approach the nearest one.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. I can do a terror strike. As I get to the closest one, I actually want to... Can I say that if I, use the back of my gun, it's, my fist?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, I'm going to flip my gun around and use my terror strike to attack just the one nearest me. So I get a +2 damage when I attack with that.
And you have
It's
+3 from your soul.
and I have +3 from my soul, and it's a level 2. So how many die do I need to roll?
You will be rolling 2 die.
Yep.
Your challenge was a 7. You've brought it down by 5, so you need to roll 2 or above on both dice.
Okay, good. I rolled
You can spend. Okay.
I rolled a 3 and a 4.
Great. All right. And also, you correct me if I'm wrong. You did take the secret death in both hands.
I did.
So you can make an additional attack if you want. This can't be a terror strike, but you can shoot a gun or make it.
I will shoot a gun. So they're gonna take 2. Plus 3 damage. Yeah, 5 damage. This just one, whatever one is near me. So I get a +3. So sorry.
What's terror strike again? For the damage on that? I'm sorry.
Fueled by my nightmares, I inflict +2 damage when I attack with my fist. Not an action. Color red.
Okay, so your fists normally do 2 already, so that's 4
+3.
7.
Yeah.
So 7 from that hit. All right.
So I'm feeling my nightmare right into it. Is it still up?
That one's done.
Okay.
That one's done.
On to the next one with my gun. So with my gun, it's just a +3 to attack. It's not. That's actually with my blade, or the blade doesn't work for my gun. So I'll just make a gun attack.
Sure. Yeah. You can spend from your accuracy pool to reduce the challenge, and your gun is a level 4, so you will reduce the challenge by 4. So you're reducing the challenge by 5. You need to roll a 2 or above on both of your dice.
Yeah. I got a 7 and a 4.
Yeah, no, that'll do it. You are man. So why don't you describe what this whole scene just looked like?
So as I run up, I want to do the cool slide thing, and come up. And as I kind of roll up, I want to take the back of my gun, flip it over, pop him in the temple, use that to load my gun, aim at the next person, and just get off a close range shot right to the head.
Okay. Yeah, no, you did. Yeah, they both just drop. Especially like one you shot in the head, just instantly just crumples. Unfortunately, there are still quite a few of them that are still up.
That's fine. I want to draw their attention.
Yeah. So Soraya, how would you like despair? And by that I mean they're coming for you. They're moving in your direction.
They don't care about me?
They're aware of you, but of the 6 that are still left up, maybe like 4 of them move on Soraya. Soraya, can you make me a dodge defense roll and a resist defense roll?
Do I get attack of opportunity?
Don't. I'm sorry. You can spend from your movement to reduce the challenge by 1 for your dodge. You can spend a intellect to reduce the challenge by 1 for your resist.
You also have a +1 from me, from my ephemera.
For the resist or for the dodge?
For both.
Oh, for both.
For both. Yeah, so you're reducing the challenge by 2 for both. The challenge is 4. You need to beat a 4 after the 2 subtractions.
I have not rolled well, so let's go ahead and just, let's use can I use both?
Both of what?
So can I use it? Would you say the physical? Is it movement?
Yeah, you would need to spend from both to affect.
So movement and
intellect.
Okay.
Intellect, and you will also for the intellect one, you'll need to roll Sortilege as well because it's a magical attack.
So 2.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
2 for the resist, 1 for the dodge.
Oh God. Okay. Then let's redo this. Okay. All right. I have my die situated. Okay, not bad. So that is 9 and 5 on the resist, 6 on the magicalness.
Sure. Yeah, so all 3 of those succeed. So the first thing you feel is like it's like in the span of maybe half a second, you feel like all of the full-on like beginnings of a migraine, and you're just like, no, I'm not dealing with this shit right now. And you manage to shake it off. And another one comes in with this long, thin sword and attempts to slash at you, and you manage to dodge out of the way, bringing Baby Shade with you. So now, let's see, we have Soraya and Alana.
What the hell did I do to you?
How many are there?
4.
4 left.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Okay. I know what I'm
Or
gonna
no,
do.
6.
Or-
There's 6 left. I'm sorry.
Okay. One of the ones that are on Soraya, I would like to use another ephemera.
Mhm.
I want to use the world is but a maze.
Okay.
Level 7 plus 1 die. Sorry for the
Mhm.
cat. You send a close being to a location somewhere in the world that is utterly unknown to them. They cannot return, move to somewhere familiar, or do anything but wander. Lost no matter what happens.
All right. I'm going to interpret world a little conservatively for the sake of saying you shunt this person into another part of a library. And
But
this
far.
place is so fucking big. Yeah, that this person just utterly banished to some far corner of Mentors.
That's a great idea, Alana. Good girl.
And yeah.
Shit. I'm going to try to keep myself between these jerk assholes and baby Shade.
Mhm.
But I'm
I'd
gonna
like
reach.
to do that too.
I'm gonna reach into my pocket and pull out a small bottle, and I will also use an ephemera, and I will uncork it and kind of give it a shake. And the ephemera is called Bottle Danger. And a small snake will kind of slither out a little bit, It looks pretty harmless until it starts to grow. It will grow to a 30 feet length. And it is a level 5 creature. And I'm just going to say, rip them apart.
All right. So I'm saying that by banishing one of them, Myrrh has effectively reduced their level by 1. So now these things are both level 5. So they're basically fighting at a stalemate. But visually, what this looks like is this now 30 foot long snake. It I don't know if you can say rears up for a snake, but it lifts up its head and the front part of its body and slams down right next to 2 of the thaw, and it's just one. It seems to be almost wrapping around to try and just constrict. Another one is going for with its bite. The thaw are giving as good as they're getting, though. They're getting in some good slashes, and they're firing off their own guns as well. You also notice a couple of magical effects that are of more obscure nature. But yeah, this is loud. There's books flying everywhere. There's pages. Just everything's getting knocked over and just torn apart. Alana, you know that Drap is moving the opposite way rapidly.
Oh. But I still have a tether.
You still have your tether. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Drops
so
on
back
the move, everybody.
back at the top, we have Shade, Josh, Shade, Soren, and Lucas.
I'll do the exact same thing I did last time.
Sure.
Seeing that there are still some of these here, I will take another dab of ink, pour it on my hand. I will actually take a step backward in order to try to give a little more space. And I will cast the exact same spell again, blasting once more. I'll do the exact same deal as last time, spending a sortilege, myself an extra die roll.
Yeah, you're rolling 3 die, and your goal is a 6, because they have additions to their defense. So your goal is 6.
Okay. Again, physical die. Other 2. The physical die is an 8.
Okay.
And I also have a 5 and a 4 on my others.
Okay, yeah, that will do it. You see one of these members of the Thaw, which is sort of being constricted by the back half of the Bottle Danger, and you just blast, and this thing just hits the head of the Thaw with a concussive force and just it grows limp, and the snake drops it. So
Perfect.
there are currently 3 left, I think.
All right.
Well, if Shade is deferring to me first, you said there were giant knight statues, like giant chess pieces.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, there are these big stone horses. The
When you
Thaw
say
ride these.
when you say big, how big? Okay.
Rideable size, and the Thaw are taller than your average person. So these, like a 6.5-foot tall person can ride this easily.
Final question: does it weigh less than a ton?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, good. I would like to use my thought becomes motion to
Mm-hmm.
use my brain to pick this up and slam it into one of the Thaw.
All right, sure. You cast Power Word Yeet. What's the level of that spell?
It. God damn it. 4+1 die.
Okay, so yeah, so your challenge will begin at a level. It's begin reduced by 4. You're aiming for a 2 or higher on both your dice.
Okay, and I'll use a sortilege to roll another one.
Yes, you can.
Hooray! You said 4 or less.
Or 2 or higher on both. On
Oh,
two of the
hey,
dice.
cool. 2 9s and a 5.
All right, great. So you take this stone horse, and you actually describe it for me. What happens here?
So I have my luggage in one hand, and I haven't moved. I've just been watching everyone else basically step around and do all this other fancy stuff, and I just kind of reach into my pocket and look at one of the horses, and by look at it I mean stare directly through it, and in my mind's eye I just envision it kind of lifting up a little bit, and I turn and look at the Thaw, and just the stone statue kind of spirals and careens through the air and smacks directly into one of them that are being distracted by the snake.
Sure.
So it's kind of just like movie scene, staring at the camera, and then right off screen it just slams in and pushes them out of view from the opposite direction.
Shade, you observe that there are 2 members of the Thaw left. The Bottle Danger is approaching them quickly, but these 2 members of the Thaw seem to have tunnel vision for Soraya, and they are currently approaching her.
Do I get sneak attack? I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I know this is the game.
No, that's fair.
I want to come up behind them and defend my sister.
All right, sure thing.
I would like to do my best Soraya impression. Be like, this is ridiculous. And then hold both my guns. Oh, actually, I'll do both fists. I'll do 2 fists. I'll do first attack, which is the same as before. So it's 2 die, and I have to beat a 2? Because...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is great, because that's an 8 and a 4.
All right, great. So broadly what happens are a couple of things. One, I was treating this entire mob as one creature, so you've brought it below its health because you did 7 damage on that last time, and you killed them both, is what I'm trying to say. So what does this look like as you get them both?
I actually want to put my guns away, and oh man, the song ended too soon. I want to put my guns, drop my guns in the holster, and then come up. And I want to take them both by the back of the head and slam their heads together. Take one, drop one on my knee, and then drop the other one on top of him and kick him in the face.
Yeah, they're done. They're just done.
We should probably go. Wait, do I find it? Can I loot the bodies?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
Do they have anything cool on them?
They would probably have a couple of ephemera objects. You would see a couple of guns and swords, but they are of average quality. I'll just say they have 3 ephemera objects, if you can allow me to draw from my deck real fast. And I'll trust you all to look these up, because...
Yeah, you can always tell us what the ephemera are later.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You find 1 ghost bullet.
Ooh.
You find 1 screaming silence. And you find 1 goetic talisman. So Screaming Silence, Ghost Bullet, and Goetic Talisman.
Got it. We should probably get out of here, huh?
Yeah, I agree. Let's go.
Do any of these people look familiar at all?
They
Do I have
are
any-
the Thaw.
But like, there's okay.
They're more or less all identical.
Okay.
They're not quite as identical as all thought forms are that are made
Sure,
by the
sure.
same person, but they're all basically the same thing. They're not human, even though they are humanoid. But like broadly, you can't really tell much aside from the fact that they're the Thaw. I don't think rolling would be productive in
It's
learning anything more.
disconcerting.
Why were they after you, Soraya? I know which one you are.
I should hope so.
We can speculate after we get out.
We can run while we talk.
Maybe you can.
Yeah, this is a lot of running for me. I'm very out of breath.
Oh my god.
I'm
Um,
also trying to keep Baby Shade up with us because she's
Yeah,
much shorter
no.
legs.
I'll pick her up.
Okay, sure.
Come
Can
here,
someone
hun.
explain to me
Okay.
what that is?
Later.
Yeah, well, that is clearly a child.
I lead the way because I think I'm the only one that can get back to Drap, so I'm sprinting.
Yeah, you see, it's not long before you find Drap and a couple of people who you notice are not people of the stacks. These seem like regular people in this part of the library. And they're all kind of like looking off in that direction. They see you run up, and Drap is like, "What the fuck was that?"
Do you want to stick around and find out?
No.
I'll run up to him.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. Give me a minute. I'm not letting you out of my house. It takes a minute, and you actually see on the other side, like walking through a house for a minute until he steps out and like, okay, going through. He sort of expands, and you're able to walk back through to Fartown. At the moment, it's currently night. There is a light drizzle. But yeah, you are currently back home.
You will see a very strange sight as I hold a child on my hip, very maternal-like, and turn to Soraya. Are you okay? Did they hurt you? Are you all right?
Yeah, I think I'm fine. Think I'm okay.
Yeah,
Anyone need any healing? I might be able to patch you up.
I was talking to Soraya.
What?
Are you okay?
Yes. I'm
Did they get
fine.
you?
No.
Why were they after you?
I am not entirely sure.
Whose place is closest, Alex?
Let's say yours.
Do you want to go back to my place?
Sure. Anywhere is safe, right?
Yeah.
I'll lead the
Sure.
way.
I'm gonna reach my arms out to take Baby Shade. If Shade will allow me to take her.
Yeah.
All right. Yep. She.
I'm not gonna hold her. I just want her to walk it with my hand.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
her
Gotcha.
hand in mine.
Yeah. Sure. Alana, you make it to your place, no problem. You're able to open the door to Mrs. Nestle's toy shop, and you're all able to. Alana, why don't you describe how everyone gets into your house?
So just don't think about it. And follow me. And I'll unlock my door.
Yeah, sure. Alana walks right up to a dollhouse and walks right in.
I call up at you. Just walk right in. Don't hesitate.
I would like to lean forward as low as possible and walk.
Yeah, sure. You all make it in. There's no challenge to it.
Okay.
Um,
I'm just concerned because I'm tall.
And as we wrap this up, before we go to talking about EXP and talking about how that's going, two things to say. One, Shade, I will say that you earned some joy for being able to kill some shit and defend your sister while doing it. And as you all enter, you notice in the entryway of Alana's house, there is a sword that is very prominently displayed in this glass display case.
My eyes are rolling.
It is illuminated utterly by itself. It is a very fine weapon, and it is kept in excellent shape. And the only thing that happens with it tonight is that Alana, as you walk by, you hear, "Now you seem familiar."
Keep quiet while guests are over, please.
Nothing else. And that's where we'll call it, I think.
Very cool.
All right, so let's quickly go around and talk about EXP and stuff, and how we're progressing on arcs, and whether we think we are in joy or despair. So, Lucas, why don't we start with you? Do you think you progressed your arc today, and do you think you're in joy or despair?
I do believe I progressed my arc slightly, if only for buying a little more time to
I agree.
to procure the deed.
Mm-hmm.
And I would dare say probably a joy earned tonight for exploring the library, seeing some new interesting sights, and at least satisfaction of knowing that I've defended the aqueduct for a little bit longer from the person who's seeking to sell it. So,
sure. Yeah, that sounds reasonable to me. Soren, how about you?
I feel like I have absolutely gotten a joy. Not only did I learn some information, but I've also learned, more broadly speaking, who that book/blender was. And I have a favor owed from someone who I believe can answer a rather large question for me.
Okay, and do you think you progressed your arc?
I think in a roundabout way, yes. I don't think it was direct, but I think it is roundabout.
Yeah, I would agree. Alana, how about you?
In terms of arc, I would say yes, definitely. Maybe not as
I would
drastic
agree.
as last session, but definitely.
I agree.
In terms of joy or despair, I feel kind of neutral, so I defer to you.
Okay. Would Alana take joy in having defended her friends? I think that is among the most significant things you did. Or would she take joy in having successfully woven, what was it, like a level 7 effect that you would probably save the day because, like, I didn't know how y'all were getting adamenters.
When you put it that way, that's a good way to put it.
Okay, sure. So I'll say you could earn joy tonight. Shade?
The joy, is this in addition to the joy that I got from killing all those motherfuckers?
Yes. Yeah, so that was an intrusion. I pay for intrusions by giving out joy and despair. So for the overall session, how do you think you vote?
Honestly, I'm feeling kind of despair because of well, it's hard because like I progressed I think I really progressed in both at least in one arc.
I agree.
In the new arc.
I think you progressed in both and you just don't know it yet. But
yeah, and I think honestly the biggest aspect was seeing the smaller version of me and not understanding what's going on and not understanding what the creature said about it being a legacy. I think Shade feels very lost and confused in general. Sure. But the fight was, I think, definitely a good way to. If it were not for the fight, I think she would have taken it. like just it would have been total despair, or yeah, pretty significant despair. So.
So yeah, I will say that since you have 2 arcs, you will earn 3 acumen for having progressed both of them in a way. And
Okay.
you said you think despair overall for tonight?
Yeah.
All right, sure. Then you can add 1 despair. And Soraya, how do you feel about tonight?
Yeah, definitely made some progress in the arc. I am also a little torn. I would have said joy, despite the form that monograph took. I still think there was more joy in finding it. That was huge. But the last little bit with those people that she doesn't know why they're after her, but they weren't really successful, so I think I'm leaning towards joy.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I think you could make the argument for both, so just whichever you would like to pick.
Okay. I will pick joy.
Okay, sure. I think that makes sense.
Choose joy.
All right. And that's all we have for EXP.